Hey guys, it's Valeria Absinthe. Look, new hair. Except for this bit. Oh, there it is. That bit there that didn't bleach properly. I bleached my hair myself. All things considered, I think I did a pretty decent job. This wasn't the result I was intending, but whatever. So, yeah. I figured that I should redo my Goth Stereotype video. Just because there's the obvious problem of it being too long. I wanted to avoid that. It had the problem of being too long, I stuttered too much, and honestly, I kind of just brought up points that didn't really count as stereotypes or whatever, so it wasn't really that great. I mean, we do technically have people that represent some of the stereotypes that I'm going to read out, or some of the misconceptions, for lack of a better word. We can't really dodge that, that's just how it is. Some of us represent these things. I represent a couple of them myself, but the main takeaway I want you guys to go out with is that you can't use these terms and make it as an umbrella for essentially all that we are. We are a music-based subculture. Yes, we have spooky fashion, and yeah, there are some of the dramatic people that do the whole angsty teen kind of nonsense, but it's not the basis of who we are, so that's the main takeaway, but I'm still going to read the details just in case, because it is kind of interesting to see how many of these things, still happen. So I do have my list once again, but obviously I don't need to utilize all of it, so I will not. So the first one, which is quite a common one, is that Goths are Satanists. Which is not true. We have many different religions, many different cultures, even many different races of people that are in here. We are more diverse than people seem to realize, but there are a few people that are Satanists, but we do have a few that are Christian, we have some Muslims, we have Jewish, atheist, so on and so forth. We do have more than just Satanist Goths, so, Next one, Goths do drugs. Oh, I mean, what level of drugs are we talking about here? Are we meaning, the hard, illegal stuff? Or are we counting it, antidepressants or the occasional Tylenol or something as drugs? They're over-the-counter drugs. Well, okay, antidepressants need to be prescribed, but there's over-the-counter drugs that you take. Those are technically drugs, which means a lot of people do drugs if we're going on that level, but in the level of illegal stuff, okay, maybe some of us do, but many of us don't. Goths are depressed / suicidal and or cut themselves. Honestly, I've seen a lot of Goths that are super happy, positive, and so on and so forth, and even if they have certain hardships, they don't let that totally affect them and everything. I do have an issue of depression. I'm not officially diagnosed yet. I need to get over the stress of going to a doctor, because that's the only reason I've been avoiding it. It kind of stresses me out, gives me a bit of anxiety to think about it. So I need to work on that, and then I'll get diagnosed and sort all that out. But again, it's not a main thing for the entire subculture. Goths are in a cult of some kind. Many of us don't even believe in cults and find the concept dumb, so no. Goths only wear black. Unfortunately, I'm guilty of this. Actually, I don't only wear black. I do wear predominantly black. I do have a couple things that are in colors. I have a red shirt. I have a couple pink ones. The main thing though is that I do wear mostly black, which is extra fun in the summertime, but whatever. You can't be goth if you're happy or nice. Bullshit. Your emotional state does not have anything to do with being goth. Next one. All goths listen to metal or similar genres. Metal is kind of its own thing, and I know there's some people that do like it. I'm not one of them, so I alone already proved this thing wrong, and there's a lot of people that agree with me. We have our own genre. We have goth music. Like, the actual genre of music is called goth. And in that, there is goth rock, there is new wave, there's dark wave, there's other ones, depending on what you're looking for. And goth music these days kind of incorporate, like, industrial music, even though it was kind of its own thing when it all started, and so on. But yeah, metal's not really one that I hear of as being in there. Like, I guess the only thing that's, like, close enough to it is, like, maybe, like, progressive metal or something, I don't know. I don't usually pay attention to genres for the most part, because I listen to whatever music I want, even if it's a pop song. I don't fucking care. Goths think they're vampires. No, most of us just wish we were. We are aware of the reality that we are not. We are just regular-ass people. I do not know why I'm holding this necklace like this. I would love to be a vampire. Like, the immortality thing seems kind of neat, because that would mean almost infinite time to actually do whatever I want and find things to enjoy. And, I mean, aside from that, I feel that, I don't know, I just think it would be an interesting thing, because there are ways of going about getting the blood that I need without killing anything. It is physically possible. There's people out there that donate blood. Just have to find a way to do that on a bigger scale with a bigger quantity of willing donors and everything, and it can work. All goths practice magic. No, they do not. We have Wiccans, and we do have, like, a Wiccan goth fashion as well, which is kind of neat. But we do have Wiccan goths, but you kind of need to be part of the religion that actually does it, or at least believe in that kind of thing to do it, and there's a lot of people that I know of that don't. Like, there's even goth people that I've spoken to that I've talked about, like, the fact that I practice witchcraft. I am Wiccan, and a lot of them are just like, yeah, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, honestly, it's fine, just don't bash me for it. But anyway, goths hate everything, physically impossible, because then we wouldn't like even anything in our subculture. It's physically impossible to hate everything. Goth, emo, and scene are the same. No, they are not. Learn to use Google. You will find differences immediately, especially in the case of music taste. Goths are obsessed with death. Not really. I honestly don't know what else to say aside from that, just not really. There's actually one thing I skipped over, but I'll get back to it later. They only like other goths. No. There's a lot of goth people that marry normal people, and it's all fine and dandy. We're not looking for just goth people to interact with and like and talk to and all that other kind of stuff. We are fine with making friends with non-goth people. It's just that you guys have to respect us and our subculture. We're not asking you to be like us. We're not asking you to like every single individual aspect of it. You just have to respect that it's who we are and not treat us any different as a result. That's literally common sense. All goths are loners. Technically untrue. There's many that are very, very social or really good in group settings and everything. I am not one of them. I don't really know people here, and the people I do know, I don't like, so I don't really have anyone to talk to except for, like, online, which, in terms of, like, when I have moments where I would prefer to have, like, in-person interaction, obviously it doesn't help, so whatever. I'll lump these two together for now. They're into kink/fetish, and they only like the dark side. Honestly, I disagree with that. I mean, I like fetish stuff. I am into kink myself, but I know there's a lot of people that don't like it at all and get uncomfortable with even the thought of it. And for the whole dark side thing, depends on context. I mean, I do find interest in, like, darker things. I do like, for example, horror movies and games. I like creepy art and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing I'm part of. Like, I like the Power Rangers. Even to this day, I like the Power Rangers. I've watched Monster High, which is a little bit lighter than you think. I used to be a big fan of My Little Pony. Doesn't seem that dark to me, but whatever. I'll lump these two together as well. They only shop at Hot Topic, Killstart, etc., and all like Emily the Strange. I don't actually know that many people that even really talk about Emily the Strange. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's a fucking book. Anybody can like that. It's not a big deal. The Hot Topic, Killstar, whatever the hell. It's really more for like mall goths and people who really truly don't know how to do DIY stuff and don't understand thrift shopping, I guess, or don't want to, or I don't know. Many goth people would prefer to avoid those kind of brands because they're just overpriced stuff that many people can make on their own, and in some cases kind of makes you look too samey, and we kind of want to avoid that. They won't or can't get a normal job. I work at a Walmart. I saw that there was another person in the goth subculture that is an accountant. We are not barred off of having these so-called normal jobs. Many of us either tone down our look or are just lucky enough to work in a situation that allows them to do what they want. I mean, this top aside, I can go to work like this if I wanted to. They can't stop me, really. Maybe they won't be happy with it, but fact of the matter is, the place that I work, my shift starts an hour after the store's closed and ends an hour before the store opens. So technically, customers will never really see me, if that's ever really a problem. So yeah, and I've gone to work with this in my old store with customers there, and they still like and trust me to help them out. So, you know, the only reason I actually couldn't go in this entire thing is actually my lashes. These actually have false lashes in. I can't wear my glasses that way because it keeps catching on my glasses and makes it really annoying, so unfortunately I can't go for them. They had a goth friend influence them to be goth. I mean, even if that was true for everybody, which it's not, I found it kind of mostly on my own. It doesn't really matter. Goths are sociopaths? Nope. Here's two that it kind of bugged me. These are both actually within the community. You aren't goth if you don't look the part, and you can't be goth if you don't like goth rock. So, for example, examples of goth rock bands are The Cure, Bauhaus, Susie and the Banshees, Sisters of Mercy, and similar. There are people out there that currently cannot look the part, either because they can't afford it, or they're in a living situation that has them with hateful people that would basically ruin their lives if they went full force into it. And some people can transition to it and get the acceptance anyway. Some people have to physically be fully removed from the situation before they can. And for some people, they have to tone it down for, like, their jobs, depending on the job, but it's not a requirement. You do not need to look like this, or even more extreme than this, to be goth. Learn the history, learn the music. That's literally all you need. And if you know that kind of stuff and aren't being like a poser or a gatekeeper or anything like that, you are a goth. That is it. This concept of having to look the part is just because there's influencers out there that do the whole big dramatic ooky spooky goth look, and it's just ruining everything for everybody else. And with the goth music thing, it is dumb to say that we can't be goth if we like other subgenres of goth music. Goth rock is one subgenre of goth music. Yeah, it started it, but that's it. That's all there is to it. So, It's just the beginning of it, whatever. The rest of this stuff looks like a bunch of nonsense. So I'll go back to the one that I ignored. Goth is a phase you grow out of. Some people, they do, but I feel like it's more because they go into it and discover that that the aspects of it just didn't really fit for them. Like maybe they didn't care for the music as much. Maybe they weren't as interested in the history of it. And I mean, it happens. There are some people that started off full force into it and then decide to back out because they realize it's not for them. There may be some that are unfortunate enough to have been bullied out of it because of like gatekeepers and elitists and so on. But there are many more people in the subculture where it's not a phase for them, where there are people out there that were goth when it all started and are today still goth. So whatever. And yeah, we still have like new people coming into the subculture and everything, so hello to the baby bats. But for some people, yeah, it is a phase, and it's unfortunate to see it that way. But I mean, as long as they're not gonna hate on every single goth person just because they either weren't into it or they encountered the asshole ones that pushed them out or whatever, then that's it. So yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Hopefully you enjoyed regardless, and if you did, you know, like, comment, whatever. Subscribe if you feel like it. That's all up to you. I know I don't upload that often. I do want to change that, so yeah, if you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so that you actually make sure that you get fully notified that I make an upload. Hopefully you guys have a good day, evening, whatever time it is for you. See ya.